All right, so hey, what's up, fasters? Dr. Legrand here for this live stream today. Really excited. We're going to be talking about the ultimate guide of what breaks a fast. This question is asked, probably one of the biggest questions asked on this channel, probably the most. A few other questions, but this one is asked a lot. And even recently, been more questions around this because certain supplements that you might be taking, or certain drinks that you might be taking, or maybe certain foods that you are taking that you're concerned, am I breaking a fast or not? So we're going to really kind of dive into this. And really, when it comes to fasting, we have to understand, okay, what are you trying to get? What benefits, right, when you're doing a fast? And so this can change the concept of what is considered what breaks a fast. So I'm going to break this out into just two different categories as we talk about certain supplements that can break a fast and what supplements you can take, as well as what foods and what drinks that do break a fast, and also what you can and can't take. So the two categories is what I'm going to say is if you're fasting for just ketosis alone, right? So again, for people who are new to fasting, ketosis is where we break down our fat cells, breaking down the ketone bodies for people who typically want to be losing weight, but there's other benefits of also being in a ketosis state. Then the other thing is if you're fasting for autophagy. So two different things, and it varies on everything as far as what could break a ketosis fast versus an autophagy fast. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in the very first part of this, which is basically, the supplements. This question is asked so significantly, and I had to write down a lot of try to get as much. Now, this is by no means an exhausted list, but I think the big heavy hitters that people ask about and are very common. So really just kind of have that pre-emphasis about that. So the first thing we're going to talk about supplements, of what supplements can break a fast. The first and foremost obvious one is gummy multivitamins. Why that is because gummy multivitamins can have some sugar. It can also have some proteins and even possibly some fats. And anytime that there's any kind of carbs or sugars, that can both, break ketosis or at least downgrade it, but certainly will stop autophagy. So for both ketosis fasting and autophagy fasting, that can be an ultimate issue. The other one is branched chain amino acids. So branched chain amino acids can also break a fast for autophagy, because it has been shown with branched chain amino acids or a lot of different other amino acids that are out there can actually activate insulin, and an insulin response will actually stop autophagy. Even just the protein aspect of it, we know from Dr. Jason Fung from his research and looking at things, is it actually can stop autophagy. As far as ketosis fasting, you're fine there. So you can still take, branched chain amino acids and should be fine if you're just only looking for the benefits of ketosis while you're fasting. Next thing is protein powder. So just to kind of emphasize, I will answer people's questions at the end of the live stream. And if you're watching the overplay on this, go ahead, leave that in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. So stay tuned at the very end, and I'll be answering questions that you guys have. So leave those in the comment section below. All right, so next thing, like I said, is branched chain amino acids. We already talked about that. The other thing is protein powders. Protein powders, for sure, obviously it's going to break autophagy. But as far as ketosis, you have to be very careful here. If you're going to use protein powders, most of them have a certain amount of calories. Some of them have carbs, so that's also going to break ketosis. So pretty much that's a no-go as far as when it comes to taking, and it can break a fast. The other thing is also other supplements that have certain ingredients. I'm not going to go over all the supplements, but this is just kind of ingredients to maybe look out for. So we've talked about if it has sugar, or if even has fruit juice concentrates, or any kind of any types of sugars like alcohol sugars, stuff like that, that can possibly also break the fast. Also, pectin, or another ingredient that also is maltodextrin is also another common ingredient that you'll see in supplements. So if it has any of those, of course you want to be able to avoid that. If you see those in your supplements, definitely avoid it. Again, if you have any further questions about certain supplements, leave in the comment section below. Now we're going to move on to as far as what you can take as far as supplements during a fast. So I talked about the ones you shouldn't. These are the ones that are okay. And of course, it's going to depend on if you're focusing on trying to get more higher levels of autophagy or just focusing on just ketosis alone. Now, I want to emphasize, for me, I usually recommend for my patients to try to avoid supplements altogether, except for a few exceptions such as electrolytes. Why that is, or maybe even a multivitamin, but for most part, because especially if you're trying to get benefits of autophagy and other benefits through fasting, I like to give the body a break from everything, even processing supplements, because we have found through research that you can actually do fine without really supplementing for quite some time, as long as when you're refeeding, you're also supplementing during your feeding states, and you're not frequently fasting without supplementation or eating good quality food. Then you can deal with some really malnourishment issues. But as long as you're doing that during the feeding window, you should be fine. And while you're fasting, for myself, I usually don't take any supplements. I might take some electrolytes if I feel a little dragged and maybe have a headache coming on. So for me, I really think by not having the body process anything, give it a break. Because you think about it as just kind of analogy, when you're cleaning the house, you don't want any distractions, or you're trying to do anything, you don't want any other distractions. Same with the body. Processing something is another task that you're asking the body. It's best to just leave it completely empty so it can do its job, right? But if you are needing supplements, these are things that you can start incorporating as far as supplements. So really, the big ones is you can take a multivitamin, but with a big preface here is making sure it does not have added sugars or other fillers in it, okay? So you have to be careful about when you're choosing your multivitamin. There is some multivitamins that are more that tend to be more food-based, so it could have some carbs and stuff like that that could break your fast. Another supplement that's okay to take is probiotics or prebiotics. This usually doesn't have any calories, so it doesn't really increase activating insulin. The other thing is also creatine. You can take this because it is calorie-free, so those are fine to take during fasting. Fish oils, these are fine in low doses is what I would say. Definitely fine for if you're doing ketosis fasting, if you're just trying to just get the ketosis benefits. But as far as autophagy, it's hard to really say. Fats can, in high quantities amounts, can activate insulin, and so therefore could also deactivate autophagy. So you got to be careful there. I would just recommend low dosages. Another thing you do is pure collagen. Not if you're trying to get the benefits of autophagy, because that will definitely shut it off. But if you're just worried about just ketosis, that's it. Pure collagen is fine. Other things that you can also incorporate as far as supplements is individual micronutrient types of supplements. So we're talking about, your common ones that are more individual micronutrients, such as potassium, vitamin B, vitamin D, A. But you got to be careful with, vitamin D, A, and also vitamin E and K. Those are fat-soluble types of micronutrients, so therefore they need to be absorbed with taking food. So there really is no need to take those types of vitamins while you're fasting. Okay, so the next thing, I see a lot of people coming on here, so see questions coming in again. At the very end, I'll answer your guys' questions, so please leave them in the comment section below. Also, shout out where you guys are coming from. I do like to see where people are coming from. Looks like we got someone from North Carolina again, Elena Anderson. We also got Kathy. We got D. Royale, Ian, and Sean. A bunch of people coming in. Great. All right, so moving on, the next thing is also as far as what can you drink and what foods can you drink. So I get this asked a lot with, can I drink this? Can I eat this? Will this break a fast? If it has any calories, guys, it's going to break a fast. So this is a very small selection of things that you could possibly drink or eat, especially if you're just worried about only just the ketosis part. As far as autophagy, pretty much everything kind of breaks autophagy. But I want to still kind of give you a list of here things, but basically really what you can eat. Now, some people actually ask questions about 0-calorie sweeteners. I would say no, because really 0-calorie sweeteners, you shouldn't even be using those at all, even when you're not fasting. Just because there's a lot of just unhealthy concerns about 0-calorie types of artificial sweeteners. That's something you shouldn't be digesting, but also I believe it can also activate insulin in some shape or form. There's some new research coming out about that, so definitely avoid artificial, even 0-calorie artificial sweeteners. But as far as what you can drink, obviously water, that's a given. But things you could take is pure coffee, also herbal teas, and also another thing you do is diluted apple cider vinegar. Some people find this to kind of help with the hunger pains as they're going through fasting. Now it does have a tiny bit of carbs. That's why I say diluted. If you really are concerned, like you don't want to make sure you shut off autophagy, then I would just leave apple cider vinegar altogether. But if you're doing ketosis, doesn't matter. It's not going to shut off ketosis. Okay, so the last part of it is also what can I eat? Nothing is a simple answer. Really, when it comes to autophagy, for sure you can't eat anything. Now, if you are somebody that really just all you care about is the ketosis, obviously fasting is going to put you in the most high advanced ketosis state versus doing like the keto diet. But if you're finding struggle with doing fasting and it's being difficult for you, you can do what I call as a liquid fast or a fat fast. So what that means is basically you can actually take certain liquids like MCT oil, coconut oil, butter, and put it in your coffee, things like that, that have fats that can help with, get your body prepped to be able to do longer fast if you're finding difficulty time, because you'll still be in ketosis for sure, even far better than if you just did the keto diet. But you're definitely going to be shutting off autophagy if you start doing things like that. You'll also incorporate bone broth, but again, that's going to shut off autophagy, but not ketosis. So really it depends on that. But those are certain things you can do. I hope this was, a good, valuable for you guys. I tried to, do as much research as I can to figure out what can and can't break a fast. But, to summarize simply, if it's got calories, if it's got carbs, if it's got any fillers or artificial flavors or anything like that in your supplements, drinks, anything like that, that's going to break a fast, just to kind of full summarize that. But ultimately, like I said before, when you are fasting, if you can, with the exception of doing some electrolytes, is try to avoid supplements altogether. Now, I don't know what your health concerns that you have. You might need to be taking it while you're fasting, but really trying to give the body a break from processing anything so it can focus on rebuilding and repairing the body like you guys want with your health benefits when you are fasting. So let's go ahead and dive into questions. I appreciate you guys. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. It'll be put up on later, as well as check out some of these other playlists. And I'll see you guys in the next video.